Feliz, Cinco de Mayo. How you doing? Oh, hey, look at this. I got my wife made a special Cinco de Mayo doll, so she's going to be my sidekick today. How's everybody? Today, I'm going to offer retail an opportunity to say, that old fool doesn't know what he's talking about, or maybe that old fool does know what he's talking about. And let me start off by speaking about sustainability. You've heard me say this many, many times before. Sustainability for a farmer means he stays in business and grows his crop the following year. Nowhere in my lifetime has been more important than it is this year with this COVID-19 virus. You've seen produce get dumped, and for any of you that don't understand produce, all the investment, everything is up front. And when you harvest it, that's when you make a profit. It's also it's a big expense at the end too, because harvesting is probably a very big expense also. But the seed, the water, the labor in the front, then you sell it in the back, and sometimes it's the last few loads that's your profit for the whole crop. So let's get that out of the way. So in the past, sustainability has been a problem. I went over this 1,000 times with contract pricing and everything. Farmers selling their whole crop, that's sustainable. You know, all the averages that goes into it. Dumping is a zero average, so anything that it gets sold for is better than zero, right? Everybody understands that. Present, this COVID-19, thank God retail is doing business, but, you know, again, there's a lot of items that retail doesn't sell that farmers are getting stuck with and probably going to be forced to dump or send to food banks. And just so you know, it's great that they go to food banks, but you have to understand there is a cost in sending it to the food banks. And the food banks, yes, they pay for it, but they literally pay pennies a pound. And those pennies a pound can be less than the packaging, the growing cost, and everything. So I just want you to understand. I get an all-encompassing view. Okay. One thing I could say about the produce business during this virus is the alliances that were forged were really commendable. You know, people that never ever did business together, people that were competitors got together and increased business and survived because of this. And I want to build on that, and hopefully we can forge some new alliances when I get to the retail section. Some of those new alliances could be a distributor near your retail stores, and even a national chain. You have can be concentrated regionally. So there might be a terminal market or a big distributor in in that geographical area. So that could be terminal markets. I know a lot of people get intimidated by terminal markets. Terminal markets are probably the greatest indication of supply and demand that you have. They usually are the release valve when growers have too much stuff. They're usually the first to go up when stuff gets tight, because demand comes into those markets to try to cover orders. So don't be intimidated by them. Make them their friend, and it could be a very, very good partnership for both of you. So let's get to the plan. You know, I'm an old-time produce guy, so I'm just going to lay out this. And it could, if you're a national chain, it doesn't have to be a national. Again, it doesn't have to be national. It could be an item in a geographical area. It could be one distributor. Just try it. That's all I'm saying. Just try it and say, you know what, this thing has some legs, or it doesn't have any legs. Okay, so here's the plan. We're going to take peppers. You're paying $30 for peppers, okay? They're in your warehouse, $30. The market goes to 10, okay? Don't say it doesn't happen. It happens all the time. And retailers, I got to tell you a big secret. I know all your buyers think you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, but we don't want to sell you because you pay the bottom price. I'm just telling you the truth. You know me. I always say, I don't stab you in the back. I'm going to stab you in the chest. So, that's just a fact. And you're retailing this stuff, so you should pay a little more. Okay. So you could pay $30 pepper. The market goes to 10. What retail does now, they keep that retail till the end to get their money out of $30 market. What does that do? It slows down your sales because your competition is not $30. Here's the old school way of doing it. Okay. You buy peppers for 10 and you average. So if you have 20 peppers left, I'm just using an example, you buy 50. Your average is less than 20 because if you do average right? 20 times 30 is 600 and 50 times is 500. So you average out your cost and you drop the retail. Now you want to increase sales. Now you feature that item and only put 40% on the new average price. I'll bet you $1 you're going to sell more peppers. And this is not something you put on an ad. This is something you do on the spot. Again, it could be nationally. People get stuck with stuff all the time, whether it's in California, Florida, it makes no difference. Just try it. Make that show bigger, okay? And this is not a one-shot deal. You say, oh, we tried it once, it didn't work. Here's my plan. Have a spot, maybe in the front of the store, where you're going to feature, when you want to sell a volume item, you all have spots in your store you want to feature an item. Make that, we'll call that the sustainability special. Because every week, there's going to be an item that you could do this with, whether regionally or nationally. So that's sustainability special. Is all of a sudden, you're going to see those peppers go from $2.99 a pound to, let's say, I know you won't sell them for 99 cents a pound, but let's say 40% brings back 99 cents. You're going to find out how volume takes care of it. Then I want you to track your shrink, because what I always say, you know what kills shrink? Sales. You don't have to worry about shrink if you sell the stuff. So those two things. I want you to put the stuff, feature it. I want you to drop your price, work on 40%, and you may have a new way to generate sales. I say you're going to do a lot more volume, right? You're going to increase profits because those 20 peppers that you had in the box, and chances are the shrink on those will be 50% because you're $2.99 a pound. But more importantly, this is not a 1 week test. You put those items in that spot every week, I guarantee you, I bet you another $1, people are going to come in and look for it. You want to hear something better? You can't do impulse sales online. I just gave you an impulse sale. That will drive your impulse sales. You actually put that sustainability special on your internet advertising. Guess what? There's an impulse sale. Here's something, and forget about it, what it's going to do with the competition. Well, a lot of reasons why I say this stuff, because I see what it does to a retailer. If a lady goes into a store, a man goes into a store, and they go shopping, and you're always the right price, and something is really high, they just assume it's high everywhere. You know what I mean? They just, they trust you. You have to give something to get something. Okay. That impulse sale, I think, will be a big plus for your online thing, and I think that's what online needs, because you can't get that impulse sale online. Smell it, taste it, all the things that we used to do. We used to let people taste the stuff. We used to cut up melons. If something was ugly but taste delicious, we used to do all that. You can't do that online. Not yet. Maybe future. What else could I want to see if I miss sustainability, average cost, each 40%. I think that's it. And that, I didn't mention this article yesterday. I saw Walmart was going to do like 2-hour deliveries. God bless you, Walmart. You know what I mean? Like, Walmart is the elephant in the room and keeps on coming up with new ways to make the shopping experience better. I just think produce is the way. People come for your fresh departments and everything else. If Walmart ever did what I just said, forget about it. I don't think anybody else would be in business. Sprouts needs some more stores, but I said this when I gave shout outs to Sprouts and Walmart a few weeks ago. I haven't been to Sprouts for this COVID-19. I got to go see. I know the new CEO was going to raise prices, retail, which I called him out on that. What made them successful, he wants to ruin. But that's it. He's the CEO. So what do I got to say? Okay, let's talk about markets. I'll just talk about a few markets this week. Mexican deal is pretty much winding down. It's been a very very tough year in Mexico between the weather and then the virus and everything. But we'll go with the top. We're going to start with red peppers. They're winding down. Volume is down. I'm a little surprised that the terminals didn't get as much as I thought in the beginning of the week. In the main, New York, Philly, Chicago, but I think by the end of the week, people are going to realize how short they are. California Reds are going to start a few tomorrow, and I really think $18, $20 FOB on 15 pounders and 20 on choice, and I think that's the real deal. And another caveat there, a lot of these guys picked red peppers green, so this Coachella deal might be a very, very good deal because once those peppers are picked, they don't come back. So you got to wait for the next set, and that could be 3 weeks, and this Coachella deal could be a screamer on reds. So just keep that in mind. Cucumbers, oh my God, they're very, very cheap, $7, $8 FOB, and that's all over. You could even pay less. You could pay $6 on supers. There's a great item. Come on, let's give that away. Work on 40%. Sell them 3 or 4 for $1. Let's get them moving. Eggplants are short, but I think the South is coming in back this week, and that could help. Oh, green peppers. Green peppers, another one. I just told you they're picking red peppers green because that market's a screamer. I think next week we have Georgia coming in. Don't quote me on that. I'm not. My Georgia guy is, I think, out to lunch today, so I really didn't talk to him. Hot squashes are still the same. Summer squash, $8 to $10 on fancies, $2 less on mediums. That seems like to be a dog too. Yellow squash is working well. Gray squash is seems to be like another dog. So that's really, Oh, watermelons. I told you, 80 degrees in the Northeast, freaking watermelons move. So, and Cinco de Mayo, avocados, but we'll see what happens after Cinco. Usually drops off, but also the production drops off out of Mexico. So we'll see where that goes. Okay? And adios. I forgot the name, but this is a famous person in Mexico. My wife knows, with these eyebrows and everything. So I'm sorry, but I don't know that stuff. My wife does, so. Love you. Love the produce business. Please share this with a retailer. Retailers, just try it. And then you could call me out. You idiot. We tried it. It didn't work. I bet you $1 it's going to work. I know it's going to work. This is why independents kick your butt every week, because this is what they do. So take it from an old produce guy. Oh, I lost myself for a second. Take it from an old produce guy. It's worth a try. Love you. Love the produce business. Take care. Watch your family. We're coming out of this thing. Okay? I can't wait to fly and see my grandson in New York. All right. Bye.